Hi, I'm Jay Fallon. Thank you for listening to The Slippery Slope. So today, it's the 9th of September, 2022. I woke up to some very sad news. King Charles III expresses great sadness upon the death of his mother, Queen Elizabeth II. On the ABC News, it says, "What happens now that Charles is king? When is the Queen's funeral and where will she be buried?" So Queen Elizabeth II has died, and her eldest son Charles has become the oldest king to assume the British throne. Most people in the United Kingdom and Commonwealth countries, including Australia, have never known a monarch other than Elizabeth. The plan for what happens now, she has died, known as London Bridge, is unfolding, and Charles has begun his reign. Here's what to expect. Charles will be King Charles III. Camilla will be styled the Queen Consort. So there was a lot of contention initially, well, a while back, about what she would be called. Obviously, the Queen stepped in and said she had a sincere wish that Camilla would be known as Queen Consort, because no one wanted her to be known as Princess of Wales because of how it's related. It's the connection with Princess Diana. So what'll happen now? Charles became king the moment Queen Elizabeth II died. The Ascension Council will now meet at St. James's Palace in London as soon as possible to proclaim him king. Listen, like I said, she has been the head of state. She's been the queen. She was the queen for 70 years. And most Australians would only have known her as the queen, as the head of she was the only ruling monarch really that most Australians would have known. The interesting thing about Charles, I think he really showed where he stood last year when he attended the Glasgow COP seminar conference, and he gave his speech, and he really made it clear where he stands when it comes to climate change and pushing for climate change initiatives. I think he's going to have a massive influence, a greater influence over the United Kingdom, obviously, and over the Commonwealth. And he will keep pushing for these climate change initiatives to keep going ahead, no matter how adversely they keep affecting the economies of nations. And we're seeing in the UK, things are they're going badly when it comes to their energy resources and energy uptake, the ability to provide energy and for a reasonable price. It's going badly for them over there, and yet they're still pushing ahead with it. We're starting to see the same thing happen here in Australia. Energy prices are just starting to really skyrocket, and yet we'll still keep pushing ahead with it. And people like King Charles, they're really not for. He's really not for the people. It's all about this worship of Mother Earth and looking after the earth. This false narrative that we're all in danger from climate change. And, they keep telling us that the floods in Pakistan, it's all climate change in action. This is the climate crisis. This is what happens when we allow carbon emissions to continue on as they were. It's got nothing to do with the neighboring country, China, doing a lot of geoengineering experiments. Nothing to do with that at all. It's all to do with climate change. I think we're in for some interesting times, to be honest. Like I said, King Charles already made it clear where he stands. In that speech, I'd encourage you to go back to the speech he made at Glasgow last year, and he made a couple of very strange references, which seemed to indicate, well, obviously seemed to indicate his deep connection to the World Economic Forum, which we already knew, but also that maybe he knew of other things going on in the background when it comes to this push for a one world government. And I think he is one of the useful idiots, to use a phrase one of these useful idiots that's utilized to help garner influence around the world, because we're going to see a greater push for a one world government very soon, I believe, and continuing push for climate change initiatives, climate and energy initiatives to be changed into renewable energies. And I think it's going to be an interesting time. So Queen Elizabeth II has passed away. Her stable influence is gone. And now we have King Charles and his influence. And we'll see where that takes us. I am just glad that ultimately God is in control. God is in control. And this is all playing out ultimately the way the Bible said it would. It will all play out the way the Bible said it would. And continue to pray for your nations, pray for this world. Thank you for listening to The Slippery Slope.